Good evening, everyone. It's Susan Kennedy here, and really delighted to be with you on A1R Psychic Radio this week. So, as usual, I'm going to have my little chat about what's going on, and then I'll be taking a couple of callers for readings. Getting a bit exciting now, close to Christmas. But I also know that coming close to Christmas, there's a lot of things going on for people, because Christmas is all about family. It's all about that reconnecting. And I guess we think about those people that we don't have with us anymore. And so for a lot of people, maybe for you, it could be a very sad time. And so I just invite you to really remember your loved ones with joy, because in the spirit world, they have their own celebrations and they love to come close to you at this Christmas time. And they love to come close to you when you're in that energy of joy. So remember that feelings of sadness and feelings of unhappiness and grief are very heavy energies. And it makes it harder for your loved ones to actually connect with you when you're carrying that heaviness and that sadness. So I just invite you to really take some time to remember them. You know, my mum's in the spirit world and my dad and quite a few of my relatives. So I just really always want to think of them with joy, and I invite you to do the same thing, because you will find that connection with them much easier and it will be a much more enjoyable time for you as well. So the other thing I wanted to talk about as well was obviously health around Christmas, because it can be a huge time where people actually suffer a lot of health issues for a couple of reasons. One is that obvious one of the overindulgence, and we tend to do that a little bit about Christmas time. You know, we maybe have a little bit too much to drink, or we eat the wrong things for our bodies. So again, just invite you to really become aware of your body and to treat it like a temple. And know that sometimes even when we do overindulge, that then is the impetus for getting our health back on track. So don't be too hard on yourself. Enjoy yourself with family and friends. It's always a time when I loosen up a little bit, and I don't usually eat a lot of meat or drink a lot. But, you know, over Christmas, I have a little bit of turkey and I have a little glass of champagne. So enjoy the time, but really listen to your body. And know that at Christmas time there can be a lot of illness around, because I believe that the stress levels are very high at Christmas. And it's also a time when we stop. Maybe we stop working, or maybe we're working even harder than what we normally do. So really just take time to breathe and connect with yourself and your spirit. Really ground yourself in your body and in your energy. And, you know, really make the most of this beautiful time, but really encourage to pay attention. And if you're worried about someone's health at the moment, again, the energy to hold them in is that energy of love, because they will do much better when you're in that energy of love. And the last thing before I take my first caller, who is Sandra in Florida, but I'm just going to talk a little bit first about kindness. So kindness is, you know, Christmas is a time when we really recognise that we're all connected and that we are all family. So there are often a lot of natural disasters around Christmas, and when there's a natural disaster or where something goes wrong, we tend to band together and we help each other out. So over the Christmas time, just encourage you to think about anybody who might be spending time alone, and maybe give them a call or invite them into your home for a meal. And if you are that person that's spending your time alone and somebody reaches out to you, then don't be too proud. Say yes, please, and enjoy that connection. Okay, so that's my little message from Spirit this week, and I'd just like to now take that first caller, who is Sandra in Florida. Hi, Sandra. How can I help you today?
Hi. I'm trying to see. I take care of some children, and I'm trying to see if maybe their mother is going to eventually get them back.
Okay. Let me just see with that. So let's just see. So when I tune into the situation there, I feel as though the mum is doing a lot of. So would I be right that the mum's had problems with her own either mental health or drug issues?
I don't know if she has any drug issues, but or even mental health. She just neglected the children, but I don't know what the reason's for.
Okay. Well, what I'm sensing as I tune into that person is that she's doing a lot of things at the moment to get her life back together. She feels to me as though she is aiming to get a lot stronger, but I really probably like to tune into you a little bit as well and know that in a way I feel that you're very tired and that you're doing your absolute best with these children and they're very lucky to have you in their lives. But I know it's a little bit frustrating for you at the moment and I feel as though you're extremely tired. Would you understand that?
Yeah, I am somewhat tired. It's been a while, so...
Yeah, and it feels as though you're somebody that just takes on more and more and that in a way people keep giving you more. So one of the things I feel for you is that, that you know, there's a time coming for you to just have a bit of a rest. But with these children, are they from the same family? Is it the same mother?
Yeah, all five, there's 5 kids, and all 5 of them have the same mother, different fathers. And she's not related to me.
Okay. All right, so you're a foster mum. Is that right? You're a foster mum?
I mean, 3 of the kids are my grandkids from my son, but the other 2 are different fathers.
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, so what I'm sensing is I really feel that there is a shift coming for you next year, and I feel that my sense is that 2 of the children, so that, am I right that I know what you just said, but are 2 of the children, you said 3 are from your son and 2 are from someone else, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel that 2 of them will go back to their mother. I feel that there are 2 that will go back, but I feel that you'll still be looking after 3 of them for a while. And, you know, it's just more you know, what I'm sensing for you is that it's time for you to really, you know, call in some extra help around what you need as well, because it's as though you've been really landed with everything. So definitely change coming. What's your date of birth, Sandra?
11/11/71.
Oh, wow. Lots of ones there for you.
Yes, I know.
And you're a 22, so...
a lot, too.
Yeah, so your life is all about balance. You know, your life is all about trying to keep the peace. And I know that you, as I said, I know that you take on a lot, that you are this Mother Earth kind of person. And I know that you're very strong. My sense is that as you go into next year, it's really a year of freedom for you. So I'm feeling that I definitely feel that 2 of these children will go back, and that when they go back, you may feel that you haven't made a difference in their life, but you actually have in a big way. And it feels as though there's a little girl that has been quite upset or not able to speak, and I feel as though you've really helped her with her ability to express herself and to feel safe. You know, I feel like she's quite clingy with you as well. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Well, the 2 oldest girls are twins, and one of them, well, both of them didn't really talk when I got them.
Yep.
There were 3,
yeah.
and there's 4 now.
Yep.
And, but yeah, now they can talk a lot better, and yes, one of the girls is a lot clingy to me. If she can,
and I know
cling to me as much as possible.
Yeah, so I know that you're very strong on helping them to, you know, to rely on them, the sense of themselves. But I know that you've made a huge impact in their lives, and I know that when I tune into their mum, that she's really picking up the pieces and getting, you know, because at some level there have been issues around her own ability to deal with things. So I'm feeling that I feel like she's got some work that's really helping her, and that she's really getting herself back together and will be more ready to take them back. So there is light at the end of the tunnel there for you, especially with the girls. And, you know, I feel like the other 3 are still going to be with you a little bit longer. So are the 2 girls, they're from your son, are they, the 2 girls?
Right, but the bad part is that neither fathers are involved The state's involved also. The state is the one who decides where they go. And right now they're doing like a supervised visitation or unsupervised, I guess they would call it, with a parenting twist to it, where they have a hands-on parenting class for her. Yeah. And they started with the 2 girls, and then they see the 3 youngest afterwards.
Okay. But that's how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it that
the 2 oldest.
I am seeing it that 2 will go, and I also feel that you need to be very vocal in encouraging, the social services people to support you as much as possible. I've experienced something very similar myself in the United States with my daughter and her children, so I do know how hard it is as a grandparent that you're the one, picking up the pieces. So just encourage you as much as possible. There is change coming, just to know that there is a lot of support for you, and that things are definitely going to get a lot better for you. So I'm just going to draw an angel card for you just to give you some other help. So it's interesting, the card that comes is nature, and I know that for you it's really important for you to get outside, for you to be able to have some quiet time, because everything has been put on your shoulders and you've taken it on, but you still need to recognise that you need some time and that you need some support, and it's to call in as many people as you can for that support. And I do feel as though there will be some friends around that actually come in and give you a little bit of respite over the holidays as well. So I wish you well with it, and I do know that you are an incredible woman, and I know that you're very intuitive as well, and I know you're feeling a big lack of support at the moment. So look, just stay focused on doing what you're doing. I feel like you're doing everything right. I feel like you've had a huge impact on children's lives, and I also know that there is a time coming when you're going to be able to hand them back. I feel they'll still be involved with you, but not as much, and it will be a big relief for you. And this is all about you now really moving forward in your life. So I wish you well with it, and I wish you a very happy Christmas. Okay, Sandra, thank you. And we've got Thank you very much. So we've got Elizabeth in Arizona next. Elizabeth, how could I help you tonight?
Hi, thank you for speaking with me tonight. The reason I actually need a little help, I've been working with a company that I dedicated for 15, 16 years, and I finally had the inspiration to give my resignation, and I'm not quite sure if I'm doing the right move. I feel excited, and I feel a big burden has been lifted. However, it's that fear that I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. What's your birthday, Elizabeth? What's your date of birth?
It is 8/30/1973.
1970. So 8, sorry, I did this bit, 8.
It's the month of August, 30th.
30th of August, 1973.
Yes.
Okay, so it's 10/7. That's 2028. Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11. So you're going into a very creative year next year, and my feeling about the whole thing is excitement. When you were talking about the business and leaving it, I felt like saying, wow, this is a great relief. This is a really good thing for you. And I know at the moment you're feeling as though, how am I going to get to the next step? But everything I'm seeing around you is about new beginnings, and is about you really recognizing the power that you have. So for some reason I'm seeing as though there's going to be a lot of communication with what you want to do. So do you know what it is that you want to do with your new career?
It's interesting. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I would actually like to move on to open my ability to speak with spirit.
Well, that's very interesting then, isn't it? Because what I had, it's like I had these two telephones in my mind, and I know that communication is really, really powerful for you. And I know that you are a very clear channel, and that you just need to have the confidence now. And it's a huge thing when we take this leap of faith. So I know, it's interesting. I've drawn some beautiful cards for you. I always do that before I do the readings, and I always trust that they're right, because I'm sort of put on the spot a little bit when it's live. But what I see when I sense you is that Spirit are already talking to you, and they're pointing you in the right direction, and they're opening the doors for you. And so very much like I'm doing here, I see you doing things on Skype with people, and I see you using your ability. Now, there's a lady that I'm very drawn to as well. I don't know if you know of a lady called Janet Nohavik, I think her name is, and I'm not sure, I think it's New Jersey, but she does a lot of work with mediumship. And I see you connecting in with her, if you haven't already. And, I know in this mediumship world, we're a family, and I work with a lot of people from the United States. I work with a lot of mediums from England, a lot of people from Australia. So I know that this is now a time where you're actually being pushed forward. And when I look at, the potential that there is there for you, my sense is people are already very drawn to you, and you've got a very strong healing energy around you. So I would just say, look, go for it. You do doubt yourself, but really this is going to be an incredible year for you, and you just have to learn to trust. And it's like, I know that you're a very determined person. So when I look at you, you've got very creative numbers, you're very expressive, you'll suffer a lot like I do with self-doubt, but the only way we get through it is by doing it. And I feel as though, is your mum in spirit?
My grandmother, she is in spirit.
Okay.
She was just like my mother. She was just like my mother.
Well, I feel like she's the one there urging you forward with it, and she's almost like your guide or your trainer. I mean, I know with our grandparents, they're not actually our guides, but I feel like she's very much working with you at the moment and saying, come on, you can do this and get this thing happening. So my sense is that, and you must already be involved in a spiritualist church, are you?
Oh, my goodness, yes, I am. It's interesting because during the summer I was guided in that direction. I've been asking for years that something comes my way, and it's unbelievable, yes.
Yeah. So, the way that this works with us is sometimes we get called, and you've had a calling, and this is your calling, and so it's time now for you to just get that microphone in the hand and to start to practice. And I see you doing a lot of work at the church. I see you doing some messages and some demonstrations, and to really trust it and to work with any training that you need to do. But it's listening to those messages, really trusting in yourself. And you've got this, as I said, I feel this big push behind you from the spirit world. Sorry, I just always have to check where I'm at with things. But yeah, I know that so what, if I look at what's, I feel in the past, I'm just going to say this, I feel in the past that you've been very successful, and you're well liked, people come to you. You're the sort of person that is a great listener. You're very tuned into people. But for some reason, there's also that little fear that comes with this, because we're dealing with something so intangible. And there's that fear of, what if I disappoint people? What if what if I'm not as good? What if I let people down? But, one of the things I've noticed and that I've experienced with my own work is that sometimes you only need to give a very little piece for people to get that connection. And what they're looking for is that sort of knowledge and that comfort and that reassurance that their person in the spirit world is still there for them. I'm seeing, I feel like your grandmother had a great faith. I feel like this has come down to you through the family line, and I feel like your mum probably has ignored her gift, but that this has come to you. This is time now for you. And you're listening, so that, as I said, there's lots of communication happening. I know that it's going to be a very exciting experience for you. And interesting, the angel card I get for you is serenity. So when I look at that with you as well, and it's really, you're a peacemaker as well. I think life hasn't always been as easy for you, so that you're really recognizing and understanding the healing process that happens when we do this kind of work. And you're all about gathering people, you're all about community, you're all about helping people feel wanted. So, you know, my sense is that the church will be a very strong support for you, very strong support network. You know, as time goes on with you, you know, I feel that you will be just helping a lot of people get out of their grief, and that's what this work is about. So to really trust in it. Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful. You made my day, as a matter of fact. 2017, thank you so much. I can see and I can feel it as you're expressing to me and you're giving me this message. I can feel it. I really can. Thank you.
Yeah. That's okay. One of the other things I'm saying for you is that there is a great healing power within you. So I'm not sure whether you've worked yet with your healing energy and capacity. See how I've got my hands up? But one of the things I was seeing is that the healing that you will bring to people help people walk through their own barriers. There are a lot of people very depressed, a lot of people very stuck, and I know that what you do will be a little bit of magic for them. So I really invite you to, you know, get out of your own way, get out of your own doubt and fear, and just do it anyway. And that's one of the, you know, the best pieces of advice I can give you, because I know you have the ability, and I know you have kindness and softness in you, and I know that you're wanting other people to find their strength and their voice. So it's going to be a great year for you, is all I can say. One thing too I will say to you as well that I feel is very important is to make sure that you are very clear with your boundaries with people, because you will have a tendency to want to overgive and want to really, you know, so you have to just be really mindful of your boundaries, that's all. Make sure you keep you happy, keep you safe, keep you, you know, it's that thing, you know, when we're on the aeroplane, we have to give ourselves the oxygen first. So really look after yourself. And I will just say, do you have a couple of children?
Yes, I have teenagers and adults and grandchildren. I have 2 grandchildren.
Yeah, because I just the sense of, you know, it being a very a beautiful time for you over the Christmas, and that whatever's going on there, if there's been any discord there, it's all going to get itself sorted out. So it feels really lovely. Wish you the very best with it, and you know, I may even see you at some stage at some of the events that I go to. And I'm not sure whether you're aware, but yeah, go onto my website, susanelizabethkennedy.com, and just have a look. I do have a Psychic Awakening course which is online that may or may not be of value for you, but it's a beautiful course that you can just do some things online with and really just hone your skills. But you've definitely got that ability, and I look forward to watching your work. So thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And have a wonderful holiday.
Yeah, you too. So thank you. Yeah, so it's been a really beautiful session already, and we've got a few minutes left. I always have to just check on my time, and my producer Dave here, he always keeps me in the, you know, telling me, oh, how much time to go, so that I don't rabbit on. So we've got a few minutes left. So the things that I just wanted to talk about in that last few minutes, again, are just really focusing on yourself. Christmas is all about giving, isn't it? You know, what can we get for people? What can we give them? People just want you. They want your presence. And I know I said this last week, but if you're exhausted and if you're tired and if you're anxious, then your family are going to worry about you. So really take some time this Christmas just to reconnect with yourself, and know that it's not about the food, it's not about the gifts, it's just spending that time together, giving yourself that time and that opportunity. So here in Australia, it's very warm at the moment, and my Christmas Day will be down the beach, hopefully. I've been working very hard. I'm working on a relationship webinar at the moment. So I'm working at bringing together an online course where you can actually come on board and get some Skype sessions with me so I can walk you through and help you with what's going on in your relationships. I know that relationships are at the core of everything. And as I said, you know, being intuitive and working with spirit, I really have the ability to see where relationships fall down. Usually it's with us. So if we want any transformation in our relationships, we have to look at how we can transform ourselves. So just invite you over the Christmas period just to be still for a while, just to reconnect with your soul, with yourself, and to remember that you are spirit first, that you're here on the earth to find joy, to find happiness. That even if parts of your family or your friends are suffering, you cannot help them other than by being there for them, holding them in the energy of love, and offering that hand of support. And if they don't take it, then you've done your piece. So again, love you to join me on my Facebook page, which is Susan Kennedy Medium. If you're in Australia, I've got some really exciting stuff coming up. I've got a one-day workshop happening at the end of January. Details are on my website, susanelizabethkennedy.com. And I will be at the Health Harmony Expo here on the Gold Coast on the 20th of January for 3 days. Other than that, I'll be here next week. I'll be on the radio show. I'm looking forward to talking to you. And remember, message A1R Psychic Radio. Leave your details and they will call you back. And I wish you very best of happiness over the Christmas period. Hope it's joyful for you, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week here on the show. Bye for now. Lots of love.